All right. Hi, everyone. I wanted to come in here. I was reminded today of the definition of guru. And one of the definitions of guru is the remover of ignorance. And I think when we're doing our work, it can be really easy to feel a lot of shame. Like there's a lot of, when you're really doing your work, when you're in deep conscious relationship and you're working on that, you're having a lot of your stuff come up, or you're deep in the throes of therapy, or you're working through past trauma, or you're working through a struggle deeply, honestly, sincerely. It can feel like you're going through hell. And I love this reminder of the definition of guru, which is the remover of ignorance. And ultimately, the deepest yoga practice that we have, yoga is a mental process. The physical asanas are just the doorway. And the yoga of relationship, the yoga of healing trauma, the yoga of healing our intergenerational patterns is the yoga. It is the yoga. It is therapy. That is psychology at its deepest core. It's removing the ignorance. And when we remove the ignorance, like in Vipassana, if you've ever sat a Vipassana course, the ancient practice of the Buddha, for 10 days, you don't talk to anyone. You just are with yourself, and it's excruciating. And I want to name this, and I feel emotional talking about it because it can be so hard, and you can feel like there's something so deeply wrong with you because it's so hard. Why do I keep getting into this pattern? Why do I always struggle in relationship? Why am I struggling in my work? Why? And this is why we are removing, when you really look at yourself, you are removing the obstacles, you are removing the ignorance. That is painful. And there's no way around that unless you want to do it in your next lifetime, right? If we want to do it in the next lifetime, sure, go ahead, but it's still going to be there. The pain's going to be there. And I've had people come to me with concussions, for instance, and they've got a concussion and post-concussive syndrome, and they've got PTSD, both as a result of this and because of just trauma in general. And the concussion wakes them up. Literally, like their brain was jostled around and it woke them up. Right? It's the same thing. We go through something difficult and we wonder why it's so hard. And it's because, again, this thing this pain, this struggle, the thing that's in front of you is the guru. Ram Dass said, when you know how to listen, everything and everyone is the guru. Everything is there as a mirror for us in our work. We can either choose to look and do the work, or we can choose not to and ignore it, and it'll show up later. Right? So when you're feeling, because I feel like that, especially if you've got early developmental trauma, pre-verbal trauma, there's a lot of shame involved. There's a lot of struggle because your needs were not being met. There was a lot of environmental failure around you. So your needs weren't being met. So then there's this deep sense of powerlessness. And you can feel like it can feel like a near-death experience as an infant or as a child, because you're not getting your needs met, but you don't know how to go about doing that because the person that's supposed to be taking care of you is not really doing it, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally. sitting on the floor tonight because I want to. And so that early developmental trauma, right, can then result in a lot of shame because we don't know how to cope. The child just takes in, oh, there's all this stuff happening in my environment, and I don't know how to cope with that. The only thing that I have control over is myself. So then I internalize this to mean there must be something wrong with me, and I've got to do something about that. So let me internalize that. Let me turn that in on myself. So when we grow up, right, and we're showing up every day and we're doing our work and it's really hard, and we wonder why we're not doing it better, right? Why am I not making progress faster? Or why is this so hard for me? Or, oh, I relapsed, or, oh, I'm in this, I regressed into an old state. I got triggered and I did my old fucking thing, right? I did my thing again. Damn it. And then we get so upset and it's so painful and we think there's something wrong with us, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's that this is the guru right in front of you. This is the teacher. And I just want to, and I'm speaking to myself here too, because I've just been feeling this as well, of like, I'm really in the throes of some of my own work, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're doing your work. You are doing your work. That's what matters. Keep showing up for your work. Keep looking at yourself. That is you taking responsibility for yourself. When we don't do that, when we just ignore it, that is letting go of responsibility. And then we're in a place of victimhood. Then we feel like, oh, I can't do anything. I can't change this. Right? That is not true. You are not a victim. Yes, we can't control the things that happen to us as children, but we do have power over the work that we do as adults. Right? That is where our power lies. And so whether, the relationship lasts or not, or the thing that you're in that's really like causing you to struggle lasts or not, as long as you commit to your work in this lifetime and the next, that is what matters. That is what the Buddha was talking about. That is healing the karmas. So as you do, like in somatic work, you're going to notice in somatic work, or if you're using, any healing modality, you might start to get imagery or memories pop up. You don't know why. They're coming up because they're karmas. They're there in your nervous system, and they're there in your psyche, and they're asking you, please pay attention to me. Please notice me, like this wound that I have, whatever that is saying, please, I'm here. And if it's popping up in your psyche, whether it's through imagery and through sensation, through memories, okay, it's there for you to heal. Right, samskaras, thank you. Yes, samskaras, right? They're there. And sometimes we don't know, like sometimes you do a lot of work and you realize, and there's a quality about it. Like I see this in clients where they're like, I don't really know where this is coming from. And we've done a lot of work, and it's clearly there's an intergenerational pattern here, and it's literally karmas from their ancestors. And it's hard to describe. I'd probably have to do a whole other video on that, but just know that you are doing your work, and that is enough, and that is good enough, and that is important. And then you start to change your behavior, because the more you work with your triggers and the more you work with the thing that's hard for you, the more space you create around that pattern. And then in the future, right, as long as you continue, you keep doing that, then you will start to have more choice in the matter. You're going to start to see, oh, there it is. There I go again. There's that pattern. Ooh, it's in my body and it hurts, and oh, it's so hard. And and let me take a deep breath, and I see clearly, I see it for what it is. It's not on my face like a mask. It's not like the glasses I'm wearing. I'm not seeing the whole world through this trauma lens anymore. I'm seeing it as a trauma response. I'm not seeing it as the reality. I'm just seeing it as something that's happening in my nervous system. It's a nervous system state. Okay. Right? Here I am, fight, flight, freeze. Whatever my pattern is, I'm going into that state. What do I need to do to shift, to either be with that or to shift out of that? Okay, so remember, we are removing, the guru is the remover of ignorance. And ultimately, the best teacher that, what my teachers have taught me is that the teacher that is the ultimate teacher is inside of you. Ultimately, the teacher is there inside of you. Sometimes we need extra supports. We need the teachers. We need the gurus, so to speak, initially to support us, right? Whether it's a therapist, a spiritual teacher, our partner. I think it happens a lot in intimate relationship and partnership. Okay, that person is there to help guide us inward, to help us regulate our nervous systems enough such that we can then make new choices. Right? So remember that. Okay, if you're getting down, if you're feeling down on yourself today, or in general, if you're feeling like, oh man, I'm so wounded, right? Yes, you have wounds. We have wounds, and we do the work, and we show up for ourselves, and we show up every day, and we put one foot in front of the other every day. And then we move forward, and we act in new ways, and we don't continue to perpetuate the trauma that we have. Yeah? Okay. I would love to hear more from you about this. What is your guru right now? What is the remover of ignorance for you right now? What is showing you? What is the mirror for you right now? It's probably painful. It's never easy. It's hardly ever easy, I should say. It's hardly ever easy. And that's okay. So I'm sending big love to you and lots of support and lots of containment and lots of resourcing around you doing your work. Around you doing your work. You are worthy of doing the work. You are enough for the work and for the healing. So do not give up on your work. Do not give up, because that's giving up on yourself. That's the only one that you're doing it for, is yourself. You're not doing the work for anybody else. You're not doing the work for anything. You're doing the work for you and your psyche and your heart and your soul. Because whatever you don't heal, it will go on with you, and you will pass it on to your children, and they will pass it on to their children until somebody's ready to heal it. Right? We do a little bit at a time, and that's enough, and that's good enough. You are worth it. You are worth doing the work, and whatever is in front of you that is painful and it's challenging you, that is your guru. That is the teacher. That is the remover of ignorance to show you what needs to be healed. So good to be with you here tonight. Please, if you're, I'm going to put this up on my YouTube. If you're not there on my YouTube yet, I'm just starting to do YouTube. So you feel free to head over to, that's the link in my bio. I've got, you can subscribe over there, head to jennapacelli.com for all sorts of free downloads. bendtraumatherapy.com, BEND, traumatherapy.com for more information on how I work somatically, but really touching into those free resources to begin with. Thank you, Chris. So good to be with you all here. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.